welcome back to the end of another week. What's been happening? Some good stuff. So we're on the north side, and I have my north side shady garden happening. And it's hard to tell, but I actually came out and weeded all of the like big tall dandelions. And I'm planning on taking out these larger like broadleafed weeds, and then I think next weekend we might get around to doing some mowing. But basically, as we before each mowing, I try to remove some of these big like ugly weeds and get all of the stinging nettle out, because we don't want that to keep going. And yeah, eventually we don't mind so much the weeds like this, but as we clear it out, hopefully the grass will end up more like it is on this side, and then we just have to cut it. So yeah, all of these kind of eyesores that are popping up, we're trying to get rid of over time. I found and ordered a bunch of dragon fruit cuttings, which really don't grow well. They don't really grow here without a greenhouse, and I don't have a greenhouse, but I'm going to try to grow them anyway. So that should be interesting. The heat has kind of gone away. We will have one more hot day tomorrow, but I think kind of after that, we're done for a while. I did get to planting some things. So down here, I started like cilantro and leeks and arugula and kale. These are actually going to be my attempt at carrots, which I haven't really been able to successfully grow yet. And then some of the things that I started a couple weeks ago are kind of in here, and those are old, but these I started recently, and they're all different types of brassicas. And these I started many weeks ago, and they failed because they had this like seaweed algae layer on them. So I replanted them, and some of them are coming up. So you can see some little seedlings are popping up. So we'll see what happens there. I just didn't want to start it from scratch, so I'm doing the best I can. But these have all been done with my perlite seedling mix. This was just done with compost, and I figured it was probably like just too rich and too dense. So I'll be using this moving forward, which is why all of my new ones have the perlite. And then these little things are great because they go perfectly over my like auto irrigation like watering things, because I'm terrible at getting out here to water everything. So they cover them up nicely, keep them protected from the snails and stuff, and hopefully that works out well. Some of the other things that I started before, like these are more calendula, lemon balm, other things. Eventually I'll get a lot of this put out into the garden. And then this is my Moroccan mint that I propagated for my sister-in-law. So we're going to be seeing her in 2 weeks. And so hopefully I'll have a nice Moroccan mint plant to bring up for them. In the garden, I've mainly done cleaning. So I've been cleaning up here. I cleaned up this bed and basically got it prepped for planting or straw. I'm not sure what yet. I did start some more radishes. So we have like this thing's all been prepped and covered for radishes. I'm harvesting the last of things. The tomatoes are definitely kind of on their way out. So I've been going around and getting the last of those. The green beans, we're getting kind of the final flush of the old stuff, which will eventually come out. And I'm hoping the new stuff comes in before it gets too cold. And I've replanted some peas here. Yeah, last year, I think pretty much by September 1st, my tomato season was done. So it looks like I might have maybe a slightly longer season. I've started topping things. So like all of these ones that have new flowers, I'll cut the flowers off because I want to focus the energy on maturing the fruits that I already have rather than making new ones. And then periodically I go around and I pick up all the stuff that's fallen on the floor and I give it to the chickens. But yeah, I cleaned up my path here. So I'm basically doing kind of the transition from the summer garden to the fall garden. So that involves just cleaning up, getting beds prepped for whatever I might be growing this winter, and anything that isn't going to have something planted, I'll go ahead and cover up with straw. So over by the willow section over there, I have plenty of bales of straw that I can use for that. These are some leeks that I transplanted a couple of weeks ago that are finally starting to really come up. And yeah, what else is happening? Oh, so I wanted to show you the Appios americana. That's up here. I've discovered that it is all edible. So you can eat the flowers, you can eat the leaves, you can eat the roots. It is in the pea family. The flowers taste ever so slightly sweet, and the chickens think that this is basically like chicken crack. They love this plant. So anything that's been like through the bars, they've been decimating. And things growing in there periodically, I'll go ahead and cut up and give them. But speaking of decimating, I'm not gonna take you all the way in, but I had to reinforce all of my blackberry plants with those spiral things, because over here, my passion fruit there is looking very sad. It was very nice, and it kind of flopped over when we had some wind, and they totally ate everything. So I've put a spiral thing in, and the part that's left has been attached, and I'm hoping it'll grow back. But yes, when you plant things in with the chickens, you definitely have to keep an eye on them like a hawk, because these cages that I make, if they change at all, then you're kind of screwed. The big thing that I've been kind of saving for last is the driveway. It isn't done, obviously, but they have made good work. So I'll throw in some pictures. Basically, they removed everything that was here before, and interestingly, the neighbors over there actually took it. So our old driveway, all the rocks and everything, got scraped up, put into a truck, and given to them. And then we had a big truck deliver this new stuff. So we have the weed fabric down, the first layer. Well, this is the first and final layer of gravel or rocks. We have, these are going to be our border. So like over here along the pink line, these will end up getting placed. This side is going to be for plants and flowers that I want to do. And then the driveway border will go all the way around here and then kind of like curve over there. But yeah, so they're coming back on Tuesday to finish, but the driveway is happening. So that's very, very cool. And I think that's about it. So things to come are, like I say, the guys are coming back on Tuesday to keep working on the driveway. As that's working, I may or may not get around to like digging up the dirt here in preparation for planting some flowers. But I am wanting to clean up this area, and I may actually end up having to remove the mulch because the guy doing the driveway is also going to be putting the concrete pad along here, and actually a concrete pad along the back of the house as well. So I'm not exactly sure when that's going to happen, but I want to salvage all of my mulch and reuse it somewhere else. Up in the garden, I need to do more preparation for the winter stuff. So some of the beds that I showed you are kind of sunken. So I'll be using what little soil, what little compost I have left to get that sorted out. And then I have a little bit more mulch, which I'm hoping to maybe use to extend the orchard path. So coming back over here, basically I have the orchard path going down with all my trees. And at the very, very end there, we were going to put a shed. And then we found out that we can't put a shed there because of like property line boundaries and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and extend the path all the way down, and in that corner I'll be planting at least a bay tree, if not some other things. Also, I think next weekend we're probably going to get out to cut the grass again, now that I've done some weeding, and then we'll get out and do some more weeding, and then we'll cut it. So that is the plan for this next week. And it's not quite sunset, but it's kind of nice. And I hope you had a good one, and I will see you next week. Bye.